The mayor's son assaulted a teen girl behind a restaurant. When the bikers found her torn necklace, it led to a hidden room used to cover his crimes. The 16-year-old waitress sat trembling in the dirt behind Rossi's Italian kitchen, her uniform torn, blood on her lip, clutching half of a broken silver chain as police sirens wailed in the distance. What those bikers discovered when they tracked down the other half of that necklace would expose a predator who'd been protected by power for 7 years. My name is Daniel Wrecker Kane, and I've been riding with the Thunder Road Motorcycle Club for 19 years. We were having dinner at Rossi's when the screaming started. Through the back window, we saw it. A girl stumbling out of the alley, falling to her knees. A man in expensive clothes getting into a BMW. The license plate read Mayor Yuan. Hammer, our sergeant-at-arms, was out the door first. The rest of us followed. 6 bikers in full colors running toward a crying teenager while the BMW peeled out of the parking lot. Most people would have assumed we were the threat. But the girl looked up at us and her first words were, "Please don't let him get away." Her name was Jessica Martinez, 16 years old, worked as a waitress to help her single mother pay rent. She'd been taking out trash when Tyler Blackwell cornered her in the alley. Tyler Blackwell, son of Mayor Richard Blackwell, 23 years old, never worked a day in his life, drove a $100,000 car his father bought him.
"He pushed me against the wall," Jessica said, her voice shaking. "He said his father owns this town and nobody would believe me if I told. He was trying to. She couldn't finish. Didn't need to. The torn shirt and bruised arms told the story. So did the fear in her eyes. And the broken necklace clutched in her fist. Did anyone else see this?" I asked. She shook her head. "He waited until I was alone. He's done it before. I heard the other waitresses talking about girls he's hurt, but nobody ever reports it because his father makes problems go away." Cruz knelt down next to her. "Not this time. We saw him. We saw the car. We know who he is." The police arrived. 2 officers who looked uncomfortable when they saw us. More uncomfortable when they heard the mayor's son was involved. The lead officer, Sergeant Morrison, took Jessica's statement, took photos of her injuries. But I could see the defeat in his eyes. He knew how this would end. "We'll investigate," Morrison said, but he wouldn't look at Jessica when he said it. "That's it?" Tank asked. "You're going to investigate? The guy just assaulted a 16-year-old. We saw him leave the scene." "Did you actually see the assault?" Morrison asked. "We saw him run. We saw her condition. That's circumstantial. Without witnesses to the actual assault or physical evidence linking him to the crime, it's her word against his. And Tyler Blackwell has very good lawyers." Jessica started crying again. "I told you. Nobody believes us." We took Jessica home to her mother. Maria Martinez was a cleaning lady who worked 3 jobs. When she saw her daughter's condition, she collapsed in our arms. We told her what happened. Told her we'd help. But Maria just shook her head. "You don't understand," she said. "Tyler Blackwell has done this before. 3 years ago, my friend's daughter. 2 years ago, a girl from the high school. Last year, a waitress at the country club. Every time, Mayor Blackwell makes it disappear. Pays the families, threatens them. Uses his power to bury the cases. And the girls, they disappear. Move away. Or stop talking about it because they're too scared." "How many girls?" Snake asked. Maria's eyes were haunted. "I don't know. But I hear things. When you clean offices and houses, you hear conversations people don't think you're listening to. I've heard the mayor on the phone. Heard him talking about situations with his son. About paying people off. About making problems go away." The broken necklace was still in Jessica's hand. Half of it anyway. The chain had snapped during the struggle. "He took the other half," she said. "It was my grandmother's. The only thing I have left from her. He ripped it off my neck and said he was keeping it as a souvenir." That word made my blood freeze. Souvenir. Predators keep souvenirs, trophies from their victims. If Tyler Blackwell kept Jessica's necklace as a trophy, what else did he have? "If you
believe bikers are the good people, Hit that like and subscribe button. The next morning, we started investigating. Thunder Road MC isn't a detective agency, but we know how to find information. We talked to people, waitresses, store clerks, students at the community college Tyler attended, and we heard the same story over and over. Tyler Blackwell was a predator. He targeted working-class girls, girls with single mothers, girls who couldn't afford lawyers, girls who had too much to lose if they fought back. Snake found the first confirmed victim, a 20-year-old named Amy Chen, who'd worked at the mayor's country club 2 years ago. Tyler had assaulted her in the wine cellar. When she tried to report it, Mayor Blackwell offered her family $20,000 to drop the complaint. Amy's father had just lost his job. They needed the money. They took it and moved to Oregon. Crews found the second victim, 19-year-old Sarah Miller, attacked in a parking garage after a city council meeting where she'd been serving as a volunteer. The mayor's office had paid her $30,000. She'd used it to move to California. Diesel found evidence of 3 more. All young women, all working class, all paid off by the mayor's office, all too terrified to speak publicly. But the information that changed everything came from an unexpected source. Rosa, the manager at Rossi's Italian Kitchen, pulled me aside one evening. She was 60 years old, had worked at that restaurant for 30 years, and she was tired of staying quiet. "I know where Tyler keeps them," she said. "Keeps what?" "The trophies. From the girls he hurts. I clean the mayor's house twice a month. Last year I found a locked door in the basement. I thought it was storage. But one day, the door was open. Tyler must have forgotten to lock it. What I saw in that room," her voice broke. "Mr. Kane, there are things in there from dozens of girls. Jewelry, IDs, photographs. It's like a museum of his crimes." "Why didn't you report this?" Tank asked. "Because Mayor Blackwell pays my salary. Because my son is on probation, and the mayor has connections with the district attorney. Because I'm an immigrant and I'm terrified of being deported. Because I have 6 grandchildren who depend on me. Pick your reason. They're all true. But I can't stay silent anymore. Not after what happened to Jessica. That child works for me. I'm supposed to protect her. Can you get us into that room?" I asked. Rosa hesitated, then nodded. "The mayor and his wife are going to a charity gala tomorrow night. Tyler will probably be with them. I have keys to the house. But if you get caught, I can't protect you." "We won't get caught," Cruz said. The next night, 5 of us entered the Blackwell mansion. It sat on 3 acres in the wealthiest part of town, the kind of house that screamed power and money. Rosa let us in through the service entrance and led us to the basement. The door was innocuous, plain wood, a simple lock. But when Snake picked it and we stepped inside, we entered something from a nightmare. The room was maybe 15 by 20 feet. The walls were lined with shelves, and on those shelves were trophies, jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, driver's licenses, student IDs, photographs, pieces of clothing, each item carefully labeled with a date and a first name. Amy, March 2023. Sarah, July 2023. Katie, December 2023. The labels went back 7 years, 43 names, 43 victims, 43 girls whose lives Tyler Blackwell had destroyed while his father covered it up. In the corner was Jessica's necklace, the other half of the broken chain, labeled Jessica, November 2025. But that wasn't the worst discovery. In a filing cabinet we found folders. Each folder corresponded to one of the names on the shelves. Inside were photographs. Some were taken without the victims knowing. Stalker photos. Others were taken during or after the assaults. And in each folder was a document, a settlement agreement, a non-disclosure agreement, proof that Mayor Blackwell had paid these girls to stay silent. The amounts varied, $5,000 to $50,000, depending on the severity of the assault and the victim's desperation. Each agreement included threatening language about what would happen if the victim ever spoke publicly. Loss of the settlement money. Criminal charges for extortion. deportation of family members. The mayor had used every tool at his disposal to silence his son's victims. But the twist that made everything worse came when Tank found a laptop hidden in a drawer. He opened it. The password was saved, and what we found on that laptop was evidence that Tyler wasn't just keeping trophies. He was sharing them. An encrypted chat group with 6 other men, all sons of powerful people, a prosecutor's son, a state senator's son, a police captain's son. They traded stories, photos, videos. They bragged about their assaults. They gave each other advice on how to choose victims who wouldn't fight back. They treated rape like a hobby. This wasn't one predator being protected by his father. This was a network. A group of privileged men who believed their father's power made them untouchable, who hunted vulnerable girls for sport, who kept trophies like serial killers. Crews photographed everything, every shelf, every folder, every page of every document, every message on that laptop. We documented it all. And then we called the FBI, not the local police, not the district attorney who played golf with Mayor Blackwell. The FBI. Federal agents who couldn't be influenced by a small-town mayor. We told them we had evidence of a criminal conspiracy, sexual assault, witness intimidation, obstruction of justice, and we told them to bring a warrant for the Blackwell house. The FBI arrived within 2 hours. Agent Sarah Chen led the team. She listened to our story, looked at the photos Cruz had taken, and made the call to raid the house immediately. The Blackwells came home from their charity gala to find federal agents in their basement. Tyler tried to run, made it to his BMW before Tank blocked his path. "Not this time," Tank said. Tyler was arrested that night. So was his father. The FBI seized everything in that room, every trophy, every folder, every piece of evidence, and they arrested 4 more members of the chat group. The prosecutor's son, the senator's son, the police captain's son, a judge's son. The trial was a circus. 7 defendants, 43 victims who testified, evidence so overwhelming that the defense attorneys couldn't spin it. The jury saw the trophy room, saw the photos, saw the chat logs, saw the proof that these men had hunted girls like animals, and their fathers had covered it up. Tyler Blackwell was convicted of 28 counts of sexual assault, stalking, and witness intimidation. He got 35 years. His father, Mayor Richard Blackwell, was convicted of obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and conspiracy. He got 15 years. The other defendants got sentences ranging from 12 to 25 years. But the legal victory didn't erase the trauma. 43 girls had been assaulted. 43 families had been silenced with money and threats. Some of the victims testified. Others couldn't bear to relive it. One victim committed suicide 3 years before the trial. Her family testified about how the assault and the forced silence had destroyed her. The mayor's trophy room became evidence. Every item was cataloged and used to identify victims who hadn't come forward. The FBI was able to connect 31 of the 43 items to specific women. 12 others remained unidentified. Either the victims had moved and couldn't be found, or they were too terrified to acknowledge what had happened even after Tyler was arrested. The settlement agreements became evidence of a pattern. Mayor Blackwell had paid out over $2 million to silence his son's victims. Money from campaign funds, money from the city budget disguised as consultant fees, money embezzled from the mayor's office. The financial crimes added another 10 years to his sentence. Jessica Martinez testified at the trial. She stood in front of the jury and told them what Tyler had done to her. Told them about the broken necklace. Told them how she'd thought no one would believe her because Tyler's father was the mayor. And then she told them about the bikers who'd stopped to help. "Everyone always told me to be scared of bikers," Jessica said. "But when Tyler Blackwell assaulted me, it was bikers who protected me. It was bikers who believed me. It was bikers who found the evidence that proved I was telling the truth. They saved my life." 3 years after that night behind Rossi's Italian kitchen, I attended Jessica's high school graduation. She'd finished despite everything, despite the trauma, despite the trial, despite having to relive the worst night of her life in front of strangers. She walked across that stage with her head held high. Her grandmother's necklace was around her neck. The FBI had returned it after the trial. A jeweler had repaired the broken chain. Jessica wore it every day now. A reminder that she'd survived, that she'd fought back, that she'd won. After graduation, Jessica came to the Thunder Road clubhouse. She'd brought her mother. They wanted to thank us. Maria cried as she hugged each of us. "You gave my daughter justice," she said. "You gave 43 girls justice. You did what the police wouldn't do, what the mayor tried to stop. You stood up to power." Jessica had news. She'd been accepted to college, full scholarship. She was going to study criminal justice. "I want to help other girls like me," she said. "Girls who get hurt by men with power. Girls who think no one will believe them. I want to be the person who believes them." Thunder Road MC started a new program after the trial. We partnered with local women's shelters. We provide security for women who need to escape dangerous situations. We escort witnesses to testify at trials when they're scared. We make it clear that we stand with victims, not predators. That we use our reputation to protect people, not intimidate them. The mayor's trophy room was destroyed after the trial. Every item was returned to the victims or their families when possible. The room itself was gutted. The Blackwell mansion was seized as proceeds of crime and sold. The money went to the victims as restitution. Tyler Blackwell is 50 years old now. He has 30 years left on his sentence. Prison hasn't been kind to him. Men who assault women aren't popular behind bars. He's been attacked 7 times. Lost hearing in one ear. Walks with a limp. Spends most of his time in protective custody because general population is too dangerous. Mayor Richard Blackwell died in prison 2 years into his sentence. Heart attack. Alone in his cell. No one came to his funeral except his lawyer. The town he'd governed for 15 years wanted nothing to do with him. His name was removed from every plaque and building. His legacy is shame. Jessica Martinez is 19 years old now. She's thriving in college. She volunteers at a rape crisis center. She speaks at high schools about recognizing predatory behavior. She tells her story to help other girls understand that it's never their fault, that they deserve to be believed, that justice is possible. Her grandmother's necklace still hangs around her neck. But now it means something different. It's not just a memorial to her grandmother. It's proof that she survived, that she fought back, that she helped bring down a predator and the system that protected him. The broken chain that led us to that trophy room saved 43 girls from continued silence. It exposed a network of predators. It proved that power doesn't make you untouchable. And it showed that sometimes the scariest-looking men in the room are actually the safest ones, when the respectable-looking man in the suit is actually a monster. Thunder Road MC isn't perfect. We've made mistakes. We've lived on edges of the law. But when we heard Jessica Martinez screaming behind that restaurant, we didn't hesitate. We didn't worry about taking on the mayor's son. We didn't care about the consequences. We just did what was right. We believed a 16-year-old girl when everyone else would have dismissed her. We found evidence when everyone else said there was none. We called in the FBI when local authorities wouldn't act. We stood up to a system designed to protect predators at the expense of victims. Tyler Blackwell thought his father's power made him untouchable. Thought he could assault girls and keep their jewelry as trophies. Thought no one would ever connect the broken pieces of evidence scattered across 7 years. He was wrong. Because he didn't count on Rosa being brave enough to speak up. He didn't count on 6 bikers caring enough to investigate. And he didn't count on 43 victims finding the courage to testify once they knew they'd be believed. 7 years of crimes, 43 victims, 1 trophy room, and a broken necklace that exposed it all. That's what justice looks like. Not perfect, not easy, but real. Jessica Martinez wears her grandmother's necklace as a reminder, not of what Tyler took from her, but of what she took back. Her voice, her truth, her power, and her future. The Thunder Road Motorcycle Club rides every Saturday. We pass Rossi's Italian Kitchen on our route. Jessica waves from the window when she sees us. She still works there, saving money for college expenses her scholarship doesn't cover. But now she works without fear, without shame, without the weight of silence. Because that's what we do. We protect the vulnerable. We stand against predators. We prove that leather and tattoos don't make you dangerous. Silence makes you dangerous. Complicity makes you dangerous. Power without accountability makes you dangerous. Tyler Blackwell and his father learned that lesson. So did the prosecutor's son, the senator's son, the police captain's son, and the judge's son. They learned that father's power has limits, that trophies become evidence, that victims become witnesses, that silence breaks when someone cares enough to listen. And they learned that sometimes justice comes on two wheels, wearing leather, covered in road dust and determination. Sometimes it comes from the last people predators expect. From bikers who care more about what's right than what's convenient. That broken necklace sits in Thunder Road's clubhouse now, framed, with a plaque that reads, Jessica Martinez, survivor, fighter, believer. This necklace led to 43 girls finding justice. Never stay silent, never stop fighting. Because that's what matters. Not the arrests or the sentences or the headlines. The 43 girls who got to tell their truth, who got to be believed, who got to see their attacker punished, who got to take back their power. That's what we ride for. That's what brotherhood means. Standing with survivors, standing against predators, standing for justice when the system fails. Like and subscribe for more stories.